Hello, very good morning and welcome to Athavan newspaper highlights. Today Friday, 21st of October 2016. This is Edward with the highlights of today's English newspapers. As usual, we have three newspapers for the highlights: Daily Mirror, Daily News and Ceylon Today. Firstly, let's have a look on the Daily Mirror. The main headline has highlighted deeper view on President Sirisena's controversial speech. The following is a sum of the main points elaborated by Cabinet spokesman Health Minister Dr. Rajitha Senaratne regarding the controversial speech made by President Maithripala Sirisena last week. It was advisable that the President, as the Commander-in-Chief, should have been informed of the cases involving 3 Navy commanders before they were put in the iron cage with their badges and decorations of their courts. President Sirisena has not at any stage talked against filing charges or taking legal action against them if they have committed any offence. President Sirisena, as the Commander-in-Chief, that issues connected with the armed forces cannot be allowed to get out of hand in this manner. He said it is possible that any interested party could spoil the thinking of the armed forces personnel against the government, but ruled out a possible coup. President Sirisena is unhappy over the pattern of investigation by the FCID, Bribery Commission and the CID on certain cases, as only minor financial frauds have been probed and charges filed against perpetrators. Constitutional reforms. UN rapporteur recommends independent commission for minority issues. The United Nations rapporteur on minor issues yesterday recommended the government to establish a fully empowered independent commission for minority issues in the proposed constitutional reforms to implement mandates and foster relations between communities. Mihin Langa should not be disbanded. Tourism Development Deputy Minister Arunika Fernando said that he would request President Maithripala Sirisena and Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe not to shut down Mihin Langa. Satan says not responsible for 26 confiscated human body parts. Ex-JMO have 15 boxes full of human bones to Satan. The chairman of Satan and its teaching hospital in Malabar, Dr. Neville Fernando, yesterday said that Satan would no longer be responsible for the 26 human body parts recently confiscated by the CID from the Satan laboratory during a search operation to locate the missing body parts of murdered Ragarite Wasim Tajuddin. Secondly, let's move to Daily News. The main headline says, Arrest warrant for Udayanka through Interpol. Financial fraud in procurement of MiG attack craft, named as suspect. The Colombo Fort magistrate yesterday issued a warrant written in English through the Interpol for the arrest of former ambassador to Russia Udayanka Weeratunga, a first cousin of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa, over alleged financial fraud alleged to have taken place in procuring 7 MiG-27 ground attack crafts for the Sri Lanka Air Force. Magistrate Langa Jayaratna made this order in the wake of the prosecution's decision to name Weeratunga as a suspect in this case. The FCID, conducting investigations into the MiG aircraft transaction, had named Weeratunga as a suspect in the case through a B report dated October 11 this year. Indian Foreign Secretary to visit Sri Lanka. Indian Foreign Secretary S. Jaishankar is to visit Sri Lanka with a business delegation this weekend to promote Indian business and investment in the island in accordance with the Narendra Modi government's policy of using diplomacy to promote India's trade and investment abroad. GSP Plus trade concessions after technical matters sorted out. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe yesterday said GSP Plus trade concessions will be restored to Sri Lanka by the first half of next year if the implementation of political and economical reforms of the present government continues unabated. Finally, let's move to Ceylon Today. The main headline says, Colombo Chief Magistrate Jihan Pilapitiya permits avant-garde boss to travel abroad for 1 year. Colombo Chief Magistrate Jihan Pilapitiya yesterday granted permission to avant-garde Maritime Security Services Chairman Nisanga Senadipati to travel abroad for medical treatment for a period of 1 year. Ex-CIA BOC Chief back at AG's department. Diluksha assumes duties as ASG. Diluksha Dias Wickremesinghe, who resigned from her post as Director General of the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption, assumed duties as an additional Solicitor General with effect from yesterday. Expenditure: a massive 1,819 billion rupees. President gets 6.4 billion rupees. Defense 284 billion rupees. Education gets 76.9 billion rupees. Government's projected defense budget for the year 2017 has been reduced by 22 million rupees in comparison with the allocation for 2016, while the projected expenditure allocation for the office of the president has been tripled. With that, let's come to an end of today's paper highlights. We will come with more news tomorrow morning. Thanks for listening to other newspaper highlights.